Good afternoon. I'll call this City Council meeting to order. Is there any public comment? I don't see anybody, no speaker slips, nobody in the public. Before we recess to closed session, I'll have a report from our city attorney.
Okay, there are 3 items on the closed session agenda. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 in 3 cases. Rogers et al. Versus City of Redlands, San Bernardino Superior Court, case number CIV SB 2126031. The second item is Holzer versus City of Redlands et al., San Bernardino Superior Court, case number CIV SB 2322787. And the last item is Miller and Associates, Inc. versus City of Redlands, San Bernardino Superior Court, case number CIVSB 2203755.
Thank you. Recess the City Council meeting to closed session, and we'll see you at the open session at 6. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to reconvene the City Council meeting. And the next 3 items, I'll be doing the invocation. The Pledge of Allegiance will be by McKinley Elementary Pier, Mediators, and then we'll go to our rest of the agenda. So if you would please join me, please stand. Lord, give your people in our community a spirit of unity as we follow you, so that with one heart and mind we may work together for the good of our city and glorify your name. Give us your humility, Lord, and all barriers, walls, strongholds, and divisions that keep us separated from you and one another come down. In Jesus' name, amen. I'll call up the McKinley students, please.
Please put your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
You guys stay up right there where you are. I can take that for
How you guys doing? You guys ready for Halloween? It's gonna be your school, right? Fun to do.
you. Just like one of the students. I want all my McKinley Bears to take a big step forward for me. Little step forward. There you go. There we go. Right back.
That's a step forward.
Have some parents do it. Let's have parents come from. Great job.
Thank you. Next, we'll have a report of our closed session. Madam City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. There's 3 items on the closed session. Item 1A and B, there was no reportable action. And item 1C, Pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.1A3A, the City Council took action in closed session to approve a proposed settlement in the matter of Miller and Associates, Inc. versus City of Redlands based on the following terms. The City of Redlands shall have the option to either purchase the property at 611 West Redlands Boulevard, Redlands for $3.4 million, or pay plaintiff $2.1 million as settlement of the lawsuit. Plaintiff shall release all claims, both known and unknown of any kind whatsoever, against the City of Redlands and dismiss its lawsuit against the city with prejudice. The mayor is authorized to sign the settlement agreement on behalf of the city. A copy of the settlement agreement will be available in the city clerk's office once executed by all the parties. The motion to approve the settlement was made by Mayor Pro Tem Shaw and seconded by Councilmember Barrage and passed unanimously. That ends the closed session report.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to our presentations, our Redlands Pet Adoption, Redlands Animal Control. I think his name's Jose. Joe. Joe? Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Your first meeting.
First meeting.
All right,
Good
thank you.
afternoon, everybody. Pleasure to be here today. So today we have a special guest. This is Autumn right here. There she is. This is our shelter dog. Her name is Autumn. She is 4 years old. She's a female German Shepherd. She loves to meet new people, fun-loving personality, enjoys playing in water, loves going on long walks. Autumn is looking for a forever home. So if you guys are interested, we encourage you guys to come check out the shelter. She's a very loving, caring dog. If you guys can see, she's ready for the holidays. She's my little pumpkin, and she's been hanging out with me in my office, and she's a great, great company for me. So she loves treats, as you guys can see. She loves people. So I'm just going to go over the stats for the shelter. I'll put them up here for you guys as well. All right. So current population at the shelter, we have 39 dogs, 0 cats. For the month of September, we had a total intakes of 55 animals. We had 45 dogs and 10 cats. Total of outcomes, we had 24 dogs adopted and 10 cats adopted. Return to owners, we had a success with 14 dogs, 0 cats, and we currently have 18 animals in foster. We have 14 dogs in fosters and 5 cats in foster. So I encourage you guys, if you guys are interested in our foster program, come check us out. We have a lovely facility, lovely animals that you guys can see. Most dogs are just like Autumn here. Very sweet, very nice, very kind. You guys can pet these dogs, super sweet, and I encourage you guys to come pay us a visit. Now I'm just gonna do a follow-up on our last pet that was here, Rambo. You guys remember Rambo? He's a very happy guy. Rambo is actually still at our shelter. He's still in our facility. He's a 4-year-old male pitty. He's still waiting for his best friend to come visit him and adopt him. So hopefully this holiday season, your heart is open to adopt Rambo. He's still there. He's a loving, caring dog. Of course, he's a good guard dog as well, but overall, he's a good dog. So thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you guys being here, and thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Mayor Salcedo, really quickly, I don't think Joe should be let off the hook that easy. Jody set the precedent of doing a animal joke, and so you're not off the hook. I think you should do the same thing. Not on the spot, though, so next time.
Okay. I'll think of something. I'll come up with my own style. We'll try next month. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a good afternoon.
Next presentation will be the presentation of National Fire Prevention Week proclamation presented to Fire Chief Sessler and Fire Marshal Vance Anderson. If you want to join me down front, Fire Chief Sessler.
Thank you, Mayor. This is just a proclamation recognizing Fire Prevention Week for the fire department. I'll turn over to Vince. He's going to speak a few words about it. But real quickly, I want to just recognize this group. This is our community risk reduction group, who is in charge of our fire inspections, fire prevention, and our weed abatement field reduction. And they take us to the next level. I appreciate their efforts in recognizing us, both locally and the regional level. And I'll let Vince take over about the fire prevention.
Thank you very much, Chief, Mayor, and our council members. So National Fire Prevention Week is annually the second week of October, so we're excited to be participating again here locally in our Redlands community. This year's theme is Charge into Fire Safety, so really focusing on electronic safety. Three big takeaways we have for our community. Number one, buy locally, first of all. Electronic products that have the required safety features and those listings from Factory Mutual and Underwriters Laboratories. Number two, use them safely. When you're charging them, make sure it's on a firm, flat surface. And number three, when they do come up to their lifetime, if they become damaged, it's time to properly dispose of them. And they are household hazardous waste at that point, and our collection center there on the weekends here at City Yard, that's the right place to be. So thank you, Chief. Thank you to my team here. We try to keep our community safe, that economy protected, and keep Redlands a place to be.
And open house is this Saturday, 10 to 1 at Station 1 downtown station. So everyone's welcome. Good time. So thank you.
I also want to mention that Fire Marshal Anderson was recognized by the Garner Holt Productions as a public safety standout for our public safety, and also our policeman JP was also recognized at an event, at a gala they had, recognizing how important our public safety is to our young people and making sure that they're safe. So again, thank you. Congratulations. The next presentation will be by our council member Eddie Tejeda.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Okay, appreciate it. I'd like to invite my guests for this proclamation, the Hindu Heritage Month. Come on up. You can all come up. Thank you very much. And congratulations on this proclamation. And I'm going to go through some, not all of these clauses. Whereas during the month of October, the culture, history, traditions, achievements, and contributions of the Hindu Americans are recognized, celebrated throughout the United States of America, the state of California, and the city of Redlands. And whereas the city of Redlands values diversity and the variety of cultural traditions and encourages its citizens to better understand, recognize, and celebrate the rich history and shared experiences of Hindu Americans. And whereas across our city of Redlands, Hindu Americans have filled our communities with rich traditions and abundant culture, and the city is proud to recognize during Hindu Heritage Month their many social, cultural, and economic contributions to our city, state, and nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Redlands does hereby recognize the month of October as Hindu Heritage Month in the City of Redlands. The City of Redlands encourages residents, educational institutions, and community organizations to observe Hindu Heritage Month through activities, events, and educational initiatives that promote understanding, cultural exchange, and respect for Hindu traditions and contributions. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I invite you to say a few words.
Okay, sure. I've written down to make it fast.
Okay.
I would like to thank Councilman Taheda, the Mayor and the City Council for proclaiming the October as Hindu Heritage Month. Around this month, we have festivals of Navratri, Dasahra, Diwali. Navratri is the 9 days time to pray to get the blessings of feminine divine. Dasahra symbolizes the victory of truth over evil. We had a Dasahra fair in Redlands last Saturday, and we had few elected leaders there. Diwali is the major festival of 5 days. The middle of that is on 21st. On Diwali, we pray for wisdom and prosperity for all. All means all. It is a celebration of light over dark, and light signifies knowledge and dark signifies ignorance. Feel free to wish your Hindu neighbors and co-workers happy Diwali. You may get treated with some Indian sweets. We have some sweets here for the council, and they can taste them whenever they like. When you visit your Hindu friends' homes around Diwali, if you see a swastika, please do not get alarmed. It is our auspicious swastika, which is not the same as Nazi Haken Cruz. That is a hate symbol. AB 2282 of year 2022 was about hate symbols, and this bill recognizes that Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain swastikas are not hate symbols. These are very, very ancient. Yesterday, Governor Newsom signed AB 268 to recognize Diwali as a state holiday. We thank the California legislature and the governor for that. Other states like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, the list may not be complete. They already has it as a state holiday. And I'm pretty enthusiastic about Diwali. I wrote a song on Diwali. It was written in Redlands. Who knows? It may blow the charts off sometime. And if you want to listen that, it's in Hindi. You can search by my name, which is Roop Goyal, on YouTube and keyword Diwali. You will get there. Finally, I wish you all a very happy Diwali in advance because it's 2 weeks later. And thank the City of Redlands for the Hindu Heritage Month proclamation. Thank you.
We're gonna get a picture. Okay.
Congratulations. A little bit.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Moving on to our next item on our agenda, which is public comment. I have 3 speaker slips. First is Dennis Bell.
Good evening. At the last council meeting, there was a discussion on revenue taxes. It was mentioned the city was going to bond the costs for the new police headquarters building and 3 new fire stations. Regardless of the terms and conditions of this indebtedness, this bonding needs to be on a ballot for the public's approval or not. City needs to get that into its mindset now. And as for cost of the ballot measure, if the city has money for fee waivers, surveys, and master plans, it has money for a ballot measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Michael Paisner.
August 27th, 2025, Annunciation Catholic School, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Fletcher Merkel was 8 years old and Harper Mosky 10 years old. January 22nd, Antioch High School, Nashville, Tennessee. Jocelyn Escalante was 16 years old. December 16th, 2024, Abundant Life Christian School, Madison, Wisconsin. Ruby Vergara was 14 years old and a teacher, Erin West. September 29th, Pleasure Ridge Park High School, Louisville, Kentucky. Erin Easters was 17 years old. September 4th, Appalachia High School, Winder, Georgia. Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo were both 14 years old. Richard Aspinwall and Christina Irami were both teachers. June 6th, Garfield High School, Seattle, Washington. Amar Murphy was 17 years old. April 24th, James Bowie High School, Arlington, Texas. Octavian Barnes was 18 years old. January 4th, Perry High School, Perry, Iowa. Amir Jollof was 11 years old. I could go on. I could go on. These names are all murder victims of school shootings, kindergarten through 12th grade school shootings, and I read only a small fraction of the list. Every time each one of us opens our mouths, we make a choice about who we are, what we stand for, and how we're going to impact the world. And as city council members, your voices are louder than mine. You have the ability to reach more people and affect more change in our community than I do. So I find it interesting what names and whose perspectives you choose to elevate. At the last meeting, one of you chose to acknowledge a person who said some gun deaths every year are worth it to have the Second Amendment. That was a person you chose to elevate. I think there are other people that deserve to have their names remembered, their stories told, their memories honored, names that might one day inspire us to do something about the gun deaths happening in schools and communities across our country. But perhaps you feel differently.
Next speaker is Stephen Rogers. You have a second item, Mr. Rogers, L7? Okay, thank you.
Honorable Mayor Salcedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. The Redlands et al. Versus City of Redlands final decision of the court in the people's favor ends the city's continuation of placing the Paris surcharge, which has been found illegal, on our trash solid waste utility bills. The city, however, was successful in defeating our partner action asking the court to grant our request to have reimbursements made to the trash utility ratepayers for these illegal revenues received by the city under Paris since its inception in 2012. The city manager and staff are recommending approval of an item which is supposed to implement the court's final decision, but instead only paints a bleak picture of how poorly the city's trash solid waste utility is being run, and the apparent continued denial by the Redlands City Council that this city manager and administrative staff are incompetent. The real problem here is an organizational one where the role of the city engineer or public works director, as was the case in previous administrations, is not being utilized or has been turned into a figurehead position where decisions are not based on the public health, safety, and welfare as required by and of a registered professional engineer. When the current city manager is given no goals and objectives for performance of his leadership position and city operations, obviously the status quo is what is desired, and that's what we got. And basically this, I spoke with you all many times about not using proper engineering, and this right here is the biggest example. Certainly in the later item, I will get into the specifics of how this item is not meeting the requirements of the court to get rid of the Paris surcharge, and in fact is just making us pay for other new programs which were not in effect at the time when when this was voted on, these rates were voted on. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on Zoom, Mr. Moderator?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Roberto Ceja, it's your turn to speak.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, City Mayor, and thank you to the City Council members for allowing me to speak. So my name is Roberto Ceja, and I want to make a quick public comment regarding just two things really quick, and I'm hoping to kind of cram it down in like a couple minutes. But I see that the current agenda items regarding, annexation of a couple properties as well as, tax implementations are great. For me, I see that there's potential and beauty in the city of Redlands, with current infrastructures and things that are being added onto Redlands. That's something that's seen as an improvement. But with that being said, given the current circumstances that is going on currently in this country, we see that, many Americans are struggling to pay their bills, struggling to pay their mortgages and stuff like that. And so I just want to make a comment of a concern of just making sure that the city council has the best interests of all of us when considering, adding a special tax to most of us, as, most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. And another comment I wanted to make was a commenter mentioned about a school shooting incident, the victims that were, personally affected by the school shootings. And I know this is really much more of a touchy subject, and it is something that even myself, I've grown up to go through school shootings, especially drills. I've been to, well, not that I personally been to a school shooting, but I was in one of the school shootings, a drive-by shooting in Cal State San Bernardino a couple years ago. For me, it's a really scary feeling to, go through such a situation, especially through a school shooting. And I know many of us, especially some people in the city of Redlands, are gun owners. And what I'm trying to say is that I'm not against, owning a gun, or I'm not against owning a firearm. I believe in the Second Amendment, but I also believe in gun regulation and being able to have effective laws such that people that are, have mental derangement or whatever the case may be, not being able to own a gun. And so I'm just here giving that concern of like, understanding that there are actual real people being affected by school shootings. And I know that the city council has the best interests of its citizens, and I just urge to keep that transparency going. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers on Zoom, Mr. Moderator?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. That concludes our portion of our public comment. We'll now go to our consent calendar. I have a request to pull I'm pulling item I-15, and I have a request to pull item I-17.
I move that we approve the balance of the consent calendar.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to item I-15, approve the use of city resources and a request for in-kind support in the amount of $2,250 related to Citrus Valley Band Tournament hosted by Citrus Valley Music Boosters on October 11, 2025. Approve a temporary street closure related to the event and determine that the event is categorically exempt from the environmental review pursuant to Section 15311C of the state guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. Facilities and Community Services Director Crocker.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This is a request from the Citrus Valley Music Boosters to temporarily close the West Pioneer Avenue adjacent to the high school on Saturday, October 11th for their annual Citrus Valley Band Tournament and an in-kind request for $2,250. Street closure is scheduled from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. that day.
Great. Are there any questions from the staff, from our city council members? Any questions? I'd like to call up the drum majors from the Citrus Valley High School. They're here today, and I'll have them introduce themselves and let us know a little bit about the event. Thank you for coming, and so please introduce yourselves and what grade you're in, and thank you.
Thank you. My name is Ethan Capalla. I am the drum major from Citrus Valley High School. This is my younger brother, Evan Capalla. The Citrus Valley Classic is our hosted tournament for 13 other schools for our marching band competitions. It is also our biggest fundraiser of the year, so this support from the City Council is I'm very grateful for, and the whole band is very grateful for. We are also, we all invite you to show up to our tournament. The first bands start at 4:30 p.m. It is just very helpful for our community as a band and to help us succeed in later programs throughout the year. Thank you.
Chair, entertain a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion. First, I'd like to, although they already stepped out and left, how do they know how we're going to vote? But I just wanted to thank them for actually, getting into their uniforms and coming down here and speaking to the council and to the community about their event. I think that's really important. So, but I will move that the City Council determine that the approval of the event is exempt from environmental review pursuant to Section 15311C of the state's guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act, and move to authorize the expenditure of city resources, in-kind support, and a temporary street closure related to the event.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
And Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. They may have had a lot of homework to do. Maybe that's what they got out of here. So no, I appreciate them coming down, taking the time and dressing up. I think it's a great cause. I think last weekend they had a preview of Champions where a number of local high schools were performing at Redlands High School, and RCC was one of the highlighting bands that came from Riverside City College to come and perform. The Marching Tigers, I believe they've been in Rose Parades and well-renowned bands, so we always want to support our music community and the arts. Okay, pulling item number I-17. This is approve of the use of city resources and the request for in-kind support in the amount of $21,301 related to the Veterans Day Parade event hosted by the Redlands Hometown Heroes Foundation on November 11, 2025. Approve of temporary street closures related to the event and the sale and consumption of alcohol beverages, and determine that the event is categorically exempt and from the environmental review pursuant to Section 15311C of the state guidelines implementing California Environmental Quality Act. Facilities and Community Services Director Crocker.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, members of the council. This event is scheduled for November 11th at Jenny Davis Park, and this is from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. This request includes an in-kind request, temporary street closures, which will occur between 6 a.m. and 1 p.m., and this is for the parade event, as well as the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages. This year, they anticipate approximately 1,700 attendees.
Okay, any questions from staff? Any comments? I have a speaker slip, Mr. Mick Gallagher. And your committee. I want to thank you for all coming, veterans and the parade committee.
I asked earlier if they would be in uniform. They all denied.
I am in uniform.
Thank you, City Council members. No one knows the type of work that you do. I happen to know. You guys work harder than anybody I know, and I want to thank you up front for that. Thank you to the city staff and the city manager for making our city a great community. This year marks the 11th year for our parade. We've been doing the ceremony for many, many years, and it's been a huge success. And Redlands stands out for honoring our veterans. I mean, if we wear a hat, people will stop and say, thank you for your service. It's really a nice, nice community to live in. This year is also a 250-year anniversary for the U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Marines. We'll be celebrating that. We'll also have in there celebrating the 80-year end of World War II and the end of the Vietnam War officially 50 years ago. Well, with that, I want to invite all of you on November 11th to come out. I know a lot of you will be in the parade, And I encourage the rest of you and the people at home, please come out. It's a great event, and we're going to have a very good service this time around. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. And thank you for your service. That concludes our consent calendar. Moving on to, I'm sorry.
Motion.
I'm sorry. I'm
Do we
sorry.
have public comment?
I almost did. I almost got through. Okay. Entertain a motion on the item. Any public comment? I don't have any speaker slips.
I have a comment just real quick. I encourage everybody, we cannot do enough and give enough thanks to our veterans. We wouldn't be up here without you gentlemen and ladies who put on the uniform. And for some people, I had someone that goes, why did they pick 11/11? Well, that was the end of World War I. I don't know why that's not commonly known, but that's why they chose it. And it was perfect. It was 11th year, right? So 11/11/11. So it's going to be a good one. Not to mention, there's more than 1,700 people there. There's probably 1,700 people just in the parade itself that participate, much less people on the side. It's a lot larger than that, but everyone come out and honor our veterans. Thank you.
If there's no more comment, I'll move that the city council determine that the approval of the event is exempt from environmental review pursuant to section 15311C of the state's guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. I move to authorize the expenditure of city resources, in-kind support, and temporary street closure related to this event. And I move to authorize the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages during the Veterans Day Parade to be held on November 11th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes, congratulations. Thank you.
See you on the 11th.
All right. We're moving on to item J1, which is the communication, discussion, and possible action relating to the cancellation of January 6, 2026 of the regular meeting of the City Council. And this is because it falls not enough time for staff to get a report together. And so we're canceling our first meeting in January of 2026. Yeah.
I move to approve the cancel.
Any public comments? I don't have any public comments. Anybody on Zoom? Nope. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I move to approve the cancellation of January 6, 2026, regular meeting of the City Council.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda. Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
And Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to item J2, which is the discussion and possible action relating to a paramedic parcel assessment analysis, Management Services Finance Director Garcia.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Tonight's report provides an update on the city's paramedic parcel tax and examines whether current revenues are keeping pace with the program costs. For fiscal year 2025, revenues are projected at about $1.15 million, while costs total roughly $1.28 million, a modest difference that is currently manageable within the general fund. Some of the apparent gap reflects accounting allocations for firefighter paramedics who also perform fire suppression duties, rather than a true funding deficit. Overall, the tax continues to provide a stable and reliable source of funding for emergency medical services. The report also outlines steps that would be required if the city were to consider adjusting the tax in the future, including a cost of service study, voter education, and 2/3 voter approval. Tonight's discussion is intended to provide context and allow the council to consider whether any additional analysis or action is warranted. That concludes my presentation. Staff is available if there are any questions.
Thank you, Director Garcia. Are there any questions or comments to staff?
I don't have any questions. I have a comment. Thank you very much for the detailed report. I really appreciate all the work that was done on this item. When I introduced this for consideration to the council, it was mainly because year after year we approved this, the collection. So I was curious to know what or how the tax was indexed and basically what households were charged. And so once I looked at the this tax a little bit more in depth, and the question came from one of the council members, if we were to adjust this and to a point where it's fair for everyone, when I see a tax that basically says if you have a small piece of property and then something that's quite a bit larger, you're going to pay the same amount, I start thinking about fairness. And so I started to do a little bit more digging when it comes to what would it look like if the tax were indexed per thousand sort of square feet of property and things like that. And there's a way to ensure that, let's say, the first 4,999 square feet are charged $40, and everything below that can be charged a bit less, per 1,000 square feet. So I did that all the way through approximately 519,000 square feet. And so there's an opportunity there so that, parcels that are larger are paying what I consider to be their fair share. But I also understand that, there's only $129,800. My intention of looking at this was to make sure that we're capturing, that the tax does its job, and that it's capturing what it's supposed to capture, and not either leaving us with a deficit or having to pull money from the general fund, which can be used for other purposes. But since we have all the information, I'm agreeable with whatever my colleagues decide on this, how they want to do this. I'll just leave it up to you. So,
Any other questions or comment? I do have a speaker slip, Mr. Bill Blankenship.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council, and staff. I can be incredibly brief tonight. I think the numbers kind of speak for themselves. I think the way the program was designed amazingly 42 years ago, for it still to be working, and the reason why it works is it's only charged on parcels that actually have development on them. So over the course of the last 42 years, there's been a considerable amount of development in the city of Redlands, and in the future, there will be additional development that I think will cover that. So in spite of how the paramedic program has changed over the years, it's still kind of tacking and funding the program. So I think from that standpoint, it makes sense. I think your staff clearly outlines that, maybe over the next 3 to 5 years, they look at it again. And I don't think it's worth going to the voters and taking a risk of potentially losing the funding source. So with that said, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers here in the audience? Are there any? Yes, Mr. Hoder. And Mr. Moderator, do we have anybody queued up on Zoom?
No, Mr. Mayor, we have no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Hoder.
Thank you for accommodating me, Andy Hoder, for those who don't already know me. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and staff, just very quickly, I am a proud veteran, and I just wanted to bring to your attention a provision in the county assessor's property tax collection arrangement. There is available to certain categories of veterans an exemption on their property tax, which in some cases may actually exceed the valuation of their residence. So in effect, they don't pay any property tax. And for those on very limited income, it makes the difference between being able to stay in their own residence or ending up living under a bridge. Where I'm going with that is the paramedic assessment that's on your property tax bill. A veteran that I know brought this to my attention. He had an exemption based on his veteran status, which in fact exceeded the valuation of his property. So he assumed he owed nothing, and the year came and went, and he didn't pay anything, which was correct. Well, a few months later, he got a notice from the assessor's office that he was in arrears, he was overdue, and there was going to be a penalty because he did not pay his property tax. When he inquired about that, they said, the property tax based on assessed valuation was satisfied, but you didn't pay your paramedic assessment. And he said, I'm exempt, but I'm not completely exempt. How would I know that? And not to belabor that, but they said it's called a benefit assessment, and the exemption for veterans does not apply. You still have to pay that. And he wasn't aware of that, so the county assessor's office was not willing to bend, and he did in fact pay a penalty on top of that. So the point of my remark is to bring this to the attention of the council, to perhaps visit that situation and see whether or not this paramedic benefit assessment could be adjusted for those veterans who in fact qualify for the property tax exemption. And that's my comment. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. What's the wish of the council? Does anybody want to chime in? And I'll go last.
I'm just curious on Mr. Hoder's comment there. Is that something that we would have access to know how many people on the tax roll are getting that benefit and seeing what that would look like, or?
I'm not sure that we could get access to it, but we can find out.
Okay, yeah, if we could try to just at least see what the number looks like for the community, that'd be good.
I moved to direct staff accordingly. So I guess they're going to look into.
So let me make some comments first.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't believe it's worth the investment for the return and the cost of taxing, and I think it's just a ill-conceived time to bring any type of tax to our residents at this time, given the economic environment that we're in. I think the staff report outlines it perfectly about the variance, and that the cost of doing the analysis and the voter outreach, I think, is just a little bit. It's not a benefit for the work and the return that we get on it. So I'm going to vote against this.
Similar.
I'm sorry.
We're doing comment.
We're J2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do we have? I'm losing you. We're not voting for this tax, are we?
You're going to give direction to city staff about whether you want to pursue the paramedic tax ballot measure or just table this item.
My comment would be similar to the mayor's. I get that we're $129,800 off, but I don't think that we're far enough out of balance at this point where we should pursue additional funding for that. Staff has made it clear that that's an amount that we can absorb through the general fund to still cover our paramedic pay, incentive, our medical director, our EMS coordinator, the medications, all the things that come along with having a viable, solid paramedic program, which we do. So I'm not, at this point, I'm not in favor of pushing forward with anything that sends this to the voters from any kind of a ballot measure standpoint.
Yeah, I completely agree with the mayor and the mayor pro tem. And just thank you to everyone for doing work on this item. And I want to use this as an opportunity to highlight just how amazing our firefighters and paramedics are. I think over the weekend we had our first, it was the first event with the paramedics on bikes. Was that right?
We brought the bikes back, so we have e-bikes now and a great program for large crowds and access. So they had over 3 to 5 calls, and they made access, and we're able to track them and where their locations. So a pretty amazing resource for our community.
We are so fortunate to have increased paramedic capacity, and just thank you. Thank you to our fire chief and the department and all of our public safety officers.
People know I'm against levying any kind of tax if we can avoid it, and we can definitely avoid it with this. We're only short 120, especially when staff says it's something we can absorb. So
I hear
I just want to say that I agree with everything that's said, having been the person who brought this up for discussion. So thank you very much to everyone who participated in giving us this information.
I think the direction from the council to staff is just to table this item at the time without any further action.
Yeah, if
City
there's
manager.
no motion and second, then the item basically dies on the table and we move on to other things.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item public hearing, K1. This is a public hearing to consider resolution number 8722 and 8723 and determine that the adoption of resolution number 8722 and 8723 are not subject to the environmental review pursuant to section 15061B3 of the California Environmental Quality Act. I now declare this an open and public hearing. The resolution is calling for a special election on the question of levying special taxes within the territory to be annexed into the Community Facilities District number 2004-1 and Resolution 8723, declaring the results of the special election on annexation number 28 to the Community Facilities District number 2004-1. Development Services Director DeSatnik.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This is the first of two similar public hearings on the agenda tonight. This is a public hearing to consider two resolutions, the first of which calls for a special election levying taxes for the purpose of maintaining streets adjacent to a new residential tract at San Bernardino and Wabash Avenue. I will note, since we did hear a public comment who insinuated that these taxes on the agenda tonight were general public taxes. They do not. They only affect the properties within the tracts that are being annexed into the district. So this first one is just for maintaining the street trees, and it is annexation number 28 to facilities, the city's Community Facilities District 2004-1, and all of the relevant documents are attached to the staff report, and I'll be happy to answer questions.
Any questions from staff? Madam City Clerk, if a notice of the hearing has been published and mailed as required by law?
Yes, the notice of hearing was published and mailed as required by law.
Okay, I also call for a report from the Development Services Department with regard to the annual levy of special taxes within the annexing territory to pay cost of the maintenance of street trees within the street right-of-way adjacent to map number 20473 and any other public services authorized by the Act. Does anyone wish to file a protest or speak regarding the protest annexation? Mr. Rogers.
Honorable Mayor Salcedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. I didn't realize before, because it's not in the title, but this involves the Tri-Point development, which is one of the developments that I've brought to the police chief and the DA's office, that it was fraudulently processed at the city here. And so, I mean, apparently nothing is going to happen about this kind of activity, and you can just, this council is not going to worry about it, and they're going to continue to process these tracts as if nothing ever happened. And that's sort of, like I was talking about before, the item involving the parish fees, sort of like that. I mean, you guys are pretending like, oh, and nothing really happened. And it's the same thing on this. I mean, I believe if this KL2 thing, I don't know if that's the property that's over there for the England Grove property, but that's another one of the development projects that I've talked to the police chief and talked to the DA's office about, and I will continue to talk to the authorities about it until something is done about this. Anyway, I appreciate this opportunity to talk. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask the city clerk if she agrees to hold a special election within the annexing territory.
Questions?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not exactly sure what he was talking about. He said he brought something and said this was an illegal track. Am I right on that?
There's no evidence that's been brought to my attention this is an illegal track.
Okay. We brought it up, so I just want to check to make sure that people know that we do ask questions, especially when about legality. Yeah,
We
Charlie?
do review these allegations. We take them seriously. We often find that they're incorrect, and we would not bring this before you if we had any doubt that there was a problem.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. I'll now close the public hearing.
I'm sorry,
No.
you're going to just ask, you're going to keep the hearing open, you're going to ask the city clerk to hold a special election?
Okay. Madam City Clerk, will you agree to hold a special election within the annexing territory on October the 7th, 2025?
Yes, I agree to hold the special election.
Now I'll close the public hearing. The City Council may adopt the following resolution, 8722, resolution of the City Council of the City of Redlands calling a special election and submitting the qualified electors of the territory proposed to be annexed to the Community Facilities District number 2004-1 of the City of Redlands and Redlands, the question of levying special taxes within the territory, annexation number 28.
We'll need a motion and a second for that resolution.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. The city clerk conducts a special election and announces the results of the canvass of the votes cast. The city council may adopt the,
Right there.
okay,
Letter canvas.
thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take over here.
Please do.
Somebody help. All right, as the election official, I declare that I have canvassed the ballots, and I have them here in the public hearing baskets, and it's been determined that Tri-Point Homes, IESD, and KLLB by 2 LLC are the qualified electors. They voted 39 yes to 0 no votes. So that determines that the required 2/3 of the votes cast are in favor of levying the tax.
Okay, thank you. Now number 9?
Correct.
Okay. The city council may adopt the following resolution, 8723, resolution of the city council of the City of Redlands declaring the results of a special election for the Community Facilities District number 2004-1 of the City of Redlands on the proposition of the annual levying of special taxes within the territory proposed to be annexed to be said Community Facilities District to pay the cost of certain services to be provided by the Community Facilities District, determining that the territory proposed to be annexed is added to and part of the said Community Facilities District with full legal effect and ordering the recording of a map and boundaries of said Community Facilities District, including the territory annexed hereto, annexation number 28.
So moved.
Need a second.
I need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to,
One more action.
I move,
One more action would be to determine that the two resolutions are exempt from CEQA.
okay, I move that the adoption of resolution number 8722, 8723 are not subject to the environmental review pursuant to section 15061 B3 of the California Environmental Quality Act, and the adoption of these resolutions does not have any potential to cause significant effect on the environment.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to item K2. This is a public hearing to consider resolution number 8724, 8725, and determine that the adoption of resolutions number 8724 and 8725 are not subject to the environmental review pursuant to section 15061B3 of the California Environmental Quality Act. I declare this an open and public hearing for resolution number 8724, calling for a special election on the question of levying special taxes within the territory to be annexed to the Community Facilities District Number 2004-1 and Resolution Number 8725, declaring results of the special election of annexation number 30 to the Community Facilities District Number 20041-1, Development Services Director DeSatnik.
Thank you. Again, this is another annexation to the Community Facilities District, the same number 2004-1. This one relates to the Bergamot tract on West Pioneer Avenue, east of the 210. It's a residential tract. It also includes a new city sports park. The purpose of this annexation is for maintenance of a parking lot, an infiltration basin, stormwater treatment devices, and landscaping and street trees. As with the last one, all the relevant documents are attached to the staff report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, many questions. I open this as a public hearing, asking the city clerk if a notice of the hearing has been published and mailed to as required by law.
Yes, it's been published and mailed by law, according to law.
Okay, and I call for the report of the Development Services Department with regard to the annual levying of special taxes within the annexing territory to pay cost of maintenance of a parking lot, infiltration basin, stormwater treatment services, devices, landscaping and street tree within the lettered lot I, lettered lot F, and the street right-of-way adjacent to tract number 20528 and any other public services authorized by the Act. Then I'll ask if there is anybody wishes to file a protest or speak regarding the proposed annexation. Seeing none, I'll ask the city clerk if she agrees to hold a special election within the annexing territory on October the 7th, 2025.
Yes, I agree to hold the special election.
Okay, I'll now close a public hearing. That the city council may adopt the following resolution, 8724, the resolution of the city council of the city of Redlands calling a special election and submitting the qualified electors of the territory proposed to be annexed into the Community Facilities District number 2004-1 of the City of Redlands and the question of levying special taxes within the territory, annexation number 30.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk.
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
And Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. That the city clerk conducts a special election and announces the results of canvass of the votes cast. So the city clerk to conduct a special election and announce the results of the canvass of the votes cast.
Okay, now I'm going to canvass the votes that were cast. And as the election official, I declare that I have canvassed the ballots, and Meritage Homes of California, a qualified elector, voted 13 yes votes to 0 no votes, determining the required 2/3 of the votes cast were in favor of levying the tax.
Is that a motion? We need a second? No?
You'll go to item 9.
Okay.
Adoption of Resolution 8725.
The city council may adopt the following resolution, 8725, the resolution of the city council of the city of Redlands declaring the results of the special election for the Community Facilities District number 2004-1 of the city of Redlands on the proposition of the annual levying of special taxes within the territory proposed to be annexed to be set to said Community Facilities District to pay the cost of certain services to be provided by the Community Facilities District, determining that the territory proposed within the annexed is added to and part of said Community Facilities District with full legal effect, and ordering of the recording of the map of the boundaries of said Community Facilities District, including the territory annexed hereto, annexation number 30.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second, Madam City Clerk.
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw?
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo?
Yes. And then the last action, I move to adopt resolution number 8724, 8725 are not subject to the environmental review pursuant to section 15061B3 of the California Environmental Quality Act, as the adoption of these resolutions does not have any potential cause for significant effect on the environment.
Second.
Motion and a second?
Councilmember Barrich?
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda?
Yes.
Councilmember Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw?
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo?
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to item L1, consideration of ordinance number 2990, authorizing an amendment to the contract between the City Council of the City of Redlands and the Board of Administration of the California Public Employees Retirement System, Human Resources and Risk Management Director Matteau.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight's report is the next step in the CalPERS contract amendment process. Essentially, it's a language change. At the regular meeting of September 16, 2025, the City Council adopted a resolution of intention as the initial step in the formal contract amendment process with CalPERS. The proposed amendment seeks to remove the current language excluding hourly employees from CalPERS membership. The next step in the process this evening is for the city to introduce and adopt an ordinance authorizing the amendment of the contract, which then allows CalPERS to proceed with the preparation of the final amendment documents for consideration at a future City Council meeting. Staff recommends the City Council introduce ordinance number 2990 and adopt the ordinance at a subsequent meeting. Relevant documents are attached to this report, and that concludes my report. Staff is available to answer questions.
Okay, any questions for staff?
Seeing none, I move that the City Council introduce ordinance number 29990. Oh, public comment.
Yeah. So I don't have a speaker slip. I don't see anybody on Zoom. So go ahead.
Now I'll move that the City Council introduce ordinance number 2990.
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich?
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda?
Yes.
Councilmember Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw?
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo?
Yes. Thank you. Item L2, the consideration of a non-professional service agreement with Sentry Equipment for the wastewater treatment plant secondary clarifier rehabilitation project for an amount not to exceed $529,337.60, and the determination of the project is categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to section 15302C of the state guidelines of implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. Municipal Utilities and Engineering Director Harris.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a project for which you awarded a non-professional services contract in the past. We learned after that award that the contractor was not able to pre-purchase the equipment and perform the contract. So we came back to the council and you authorized the termination of that contract. So we rebid the project now, repackaged the project, issued a new bid notice. We received bids from the 8 contractors that you see listed in the staff report. The lowest apparent bidder was, again, the contractor that we had trouble with the first go-around, but they were non-responsive in that they didn't provide the documents that the bid notice required. And so our recommendation tonight is to award the contract to Century Equipment Corp., who is the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. That cost is $529,337.60, and that includes 10% for contingencies that may come up during construction. Happy to answer questions if you have them.
Any questions for staff? Any public comment? Seeing none, entertain a motion. I move that the City Council determine that the wastewater treatment plant secondary clarifier rehabilitation project is exempt from environmental review in accordance with section 15302C of the state guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act, and I approve the non-professional service agreement with Sentry Equipment for the wastewater treatment plant secondary clarifier rehabilitation project for the amount not to exceed $529,337.60.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich?
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda?
Yes.
Councilmember Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw?
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo?
Yes. Moving on to item L3, consideration of a first amendment to the Public Works Construction Contract with MCC Pipeline, Inc. for the 2023 CIP water pipeline and the Highline Replacement Project to increase the contract contingency amount by $480,000 and authorize an additional appropriation in the amount of $480,000 from the Water Fund, Municipal Utilities and Engineering Director Harris.
Thanks again, Mayor and Council. You're very familiar with this project. It's one of our most important water projects, a $12 million pipe replacement project. We had some unexpected things come up during the project. Thus far, by the way, it's still ongoing. A lot of that had to do with paving the full width of Overcrest Drive, which is a fairly narrow county right-of-way. There was so much trenching in that street that it would not have been responsible, I don't believe, for us to leave that county right-of-way in that condition. There was also some additional piping work that had to be done. We're about 2/3 of the way through the construction, and we've gone through all of the contingency that was in the original contract. And so this amendment tonight would add $480,000 in contingency back into the contract that may or may not get spent. But we want to avoid a situation where the timing wise, we can't get back to council in time to authorize an amendment to a contract. So this would provide that level of security for the city. And I'm happy to answer questions if you have them.
Just curious, is this the same area where we had the break up there on Overcrest? Is that?
It's the same project, the same general area. This cost is not related to the emergency repair that has already been authorized under the city manager's spending authority, but this is for other elements of that same project.
So maybe just describe a little bit about what this High Line, what the purpose of this line is, and the importance of the transmission line and what it feeds.
Yeah, this is a large 20-plus inch diameter transmission line that has historically, it's about a 70-year-old pipeline. It has gone through, in the area that we're talking about right now, through private properties outside of easements. There are no easements on those properties. So when we have a break on that pipeline, and it happens fairly commonly, fairly routinely, our crews have to go in and either use very small equipment or hand dig down to the pipe. And you can imagine how long that takes and the pressure and the volume of water that pipe carries. So one of the goals of this project is to move that transmission line outside of the private properties and back to within public rights of way so that we don't have that problem moving forward. But it serves a huge portion of the community out in the Reservoir Road and I-10 area, that pressure zone in that area. And we all know from when the emergency break happened, how many people were out of water for a couple of days at least. So it's a really important project and a pipeline for our water network system.
You may not know, but you can get back with me. Did we add any other fire hydrant or suppression capabilities out there?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know that we added any hydrants, but I will find out.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for staff? If not, entertain a motion. Public comment, I don't see any. I don't know speaker slips.
I move that the City Council approve a first amendment to the Public Works construction contract with MCC Pipeline, Inc. for the 2023 CIP water pipeline and Highline replacement project to increase the contract amount by $480,000. And I move to authorize an additional appropriation of $480,000 from the Water Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich?
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda?
Yes.
Councilmember Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw?
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo?
Yes. Okay, moving on to item 4. Thank you. Consideration of an agreement with Southern California Lighting, Inc., DBA. Pardon me, got ahead of myself. I don't have. There, I got it. Oh, yeah, I put it in. This is item L4, consideration of a non-professional service agreement with Brightview Landscaping Services, Inc., for the Museum of Redlands Landscaping Maintenance Services for a 2-year initial term and option to extend the initial term by 1 additional year term on the same terms and conditions for an amount not to exceed $125,182, and determine that the approval of the agreement is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act and pursuant to Section 15301H of the CEQA Guidelines. Facilities and Community Services Director Crocker.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This item is a consideration of an agreement with Brightview Landscape Services, and this is for the Museum of Redlands, the new facility. This is a 2-year contract with an option to extend 1 year. and it's in an amount not to exceed $125,182. Staff solicited an RFP for specialized landscape services for this facility. We received 7 proposals in total. Brightview Landscape Services was selected as the most highly qualified firm based on its responses to the scope of work that was provided in that RFP.
Okay, any questions?
Yes. What was the other, I noticed you didn't put in the bid amount. Was there a reason for that? In other words, you have Bright Landscape, but you didn't say how much. I mean, we know the proposal, of course, is $125,000. How is that lower than Leafwise Landscape or some? That's what I'm basically getting at. Is that the lowest price we were given as a bid?
So I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we do have the proposals were rated for their
Sorry about that. I don't mean to put you on that.
No, I just
Our procurement policy, so non-professional services, you don't go with the lowest bid. It's based off of qualifications and price. So the first step is you rate the bidder by qualifications, and then you look at pricing and you attempt to negotiate. So when you get a staff report, it breaks down how it was rated. So it was rated as most qualified. As you know, the museum has some specialized landscaping needs. So it was important that we found somebody who was we felt was qualified to be able to maintain it to the standard that is expected.
No, I know, because I represent the council on the library board, so it's been discussed quite often. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I just was wondering, there's no dollars and cents with the other bidders, and
Yeah, again, and that's true. Typically with non-professional services and professional services agreements, you won't see the dollar amount that the other bidders specify. It's based on the rating. So that's what you'll see in the actual staff report. And a lot of times the cost schedule is a menu of services. So when you see something like this, where you see $125,182, it doesn't necessarily mean that's how much we're going to pay in a year. It's based off the services you draw from. So it's an agreement.
the reason I asked is because the agenda that went before, it was qualified that one of the bidders we've had trouble with before, even though it was $100,000 less than the other ones. So trust me, I'm going to get that question asked to me. So that's why.
Any other questions from staff or clarification?
Right, who's doing our other city landscape contract, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, they have our other contracts. It was a significantly lower price than the other individuals that submitted a proposal for this because they're already mobilized here in the city. Okay. That's another reason why we went with this one. But
Well, that's what I was getting at. That's my
okay,
question.
I'm glad
Thank
I'm
you.
answering
It's
it.
all right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Any other questions? I don't have any speaker slips. I don't see anybody on Zoom. Entertain a motion.
I'll move that the city council find that approval of a non-professional services agreement with Brightview Landscape Services, Inc. for Museum of Redlands Landscape Maintenance Services is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to Section 15301H of the CEQA guidelines, and that I move the city council approve the non-professional services agreement with Brightview Landscape Services, Inc.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrett.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. Moving on to item L5, consideration of an agreement with Southern California Lighting, Inc., DBA, the Christmas Kings for holiday decor and installation services for a one-year initial term and the option to extend an initial term by 2 additional one-year terms for the downtown area in the amount not to exceed $440,400, and determine that the approval of the agreement is exempt from the environmental review pursuant to Section 15301C of the state guidelines implementing the California Environmental Quality Act. Facilities and Community Services Director Crocker.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, this is a consideration of an agreement with the Christmas Kings for the holiday decor and installation services that we do in the downtown area every year. This is a one-year agreement with the option to extend it for 2 additional one-year terms. This agreement is for an amount not to exceed the $440,400, which is approximately $146,000 a year. Staff solicited services and received 6 proposals in total. The Christmas Kings was selected as the most highly qualified firm based on its responses to the scope of work that was provided in the request for proposals. I'm available for any questions.
Are there any questions for staff?
Yes, is this the same outfit we used last year?
We used Decor IQ last year, but we've used Christmas Kings in previous years.
Okay, because I see they made a bid, or I don't see any price. Is what I'm getting at is, do we have a history with them? Obviously, we don't because we used Decor, or have we used them before?
We have used them before, the Christmas Kings.
Whoever does, they do a great job, so thank you.
Okay, I don't have any speaker slips on this item. I don't see anybody on Zoom. What's the wish of the council?
I move that the city council determine approval of the agreement is exempt from environmental pursuant to section 15301C of the state guidelines implementing the California Environmental Act. And I move the city council approve an agreement with Southern California Lighting, Inc., DBA, the Christmas Kings, for holiday decorations and installation services for the downtown area for 1 year initial term and an option to extend the term by 2 more additional 1-year terms.
We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Sacido.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to item L6. This is consideration of an agreement with Larry Jacinto Farming, Inc. for as-needed citrus grove farming services of city-owned citrus groves for the amount not to exceed $2,316,612 for a period of up to 3 years, and determine that the approval of this agreement is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to section 15301H of the CEQA guidelines. Facility and Community Services Director Crocker.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This is an agreement with Larry Jacinto Farming to provide farming services to the city's citrus groves. The city currently has approximately 23 groves, which encompasses about 200 acres of citrus. Staff issued a request for bids for the farming services and received 1 bid from Larry Jacinto Farming. Larry Jacinto Farming met all bidding requirements and was deemed the apparent lowest responsible and responsive bidder. The agreement with Larry Jacinto provides both routine and specialized farming practices that are essential to sustaining the city's groves. The agreement is for 3 years, with again an amount not to exceed the $2,316,612.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
One question. So I see that the bid amount is 2.3 on here, but on the bid sheet for the bid opening, it says 3.88 is the bid amount.
That was for a longer term. We reduced the term.
Okay, so originally we were going to go 5 years and then, okay, thank you.
I just had a question that may not be direct related to this, but I understand that there was some fruit fly infestation. Will that be included in this if there determines their?
Yeah, because it's a not to exceed amount. We prepare for all of those specialized services if needed, and if we don't need it, then we won't utilize the funds.
Okay, great.
The current fruit fly announcement did not cover our area yet, but I did check that when it came out, and it's more Ontario area, I believe.
The West End.
So it's not affecting us at the moment.
Okay, good. Thank you. I don't have any speaker slips for this, and I don't see anybody on Zoom. What's the wish of the council?
I'll move that the city council find that approval of a non-professional services agreement with Larry Jacinto Farming, Inc. for as-needed citrus grove farming services is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to section 15301H of the CEQA guidelines, and move to approve an agreement with Larry Jacinto Farming for as-needed citrus grove farming services of city-owned citrus groves for an amount not to exceed $2,316,612 for a period of up to 3 years.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
Yes.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor Sacido.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to item L7, the adoption of resolution number 8727, confirming solid waste rates and ceasing transfers of solid waste rate revenues to the Paris program. Assistant City Manager Boatman.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. In the case of Rogers versus the City of Redlands, the court ruled that the city could no longer use solid waste utility rates to fund the pavement accelerated repair implementation strategy, or more commonly known as Paris program, which has supported local street repair efforts. The court's order is now final, and the city must comply by removing the Paris transfer from its solid waste rate structure. In September of 2025, R3 Consulting, who's the city's solid waste rate consultant, prepared updates to the 2024 rate study to reflect new operational and regulatory information. Key adjustments reflected in the 2025 update include eliminating the Paris transfer, which is approximately $1.9 million, updating the vehicle replacement schedule so aging units are replaced at the end of their useful life. So it accelerated the replacement schedule to reflect the natural life cycle of a truck, which wasn't fully captured in the rate in the adjustment last year. And also, most importantly, costs for the California Air Resources Board Advanced Clean Vehicle Fleet Compliance is now is included in the report. This includes purchasing zero-emission vehicle solid waste collection vehicles and charging infrastructure, which are currently projected at roughly twice the cost of conventional internal combustion engine collection vehicles. And I'll note that the former solid waste rate study did not include this charge. This was intentional. The Municipal Utilities and Public Works Commission recommended to the City Council that those expenses be deferred until it was more clear what CARB's order would include, and that clarity has come down. So this now includes those purchases. Via the updated analysis, R3 concluded that the City Council approved adjustments remain necessary and appropriate to fund projected expenses and maintain minimum working reserves. By adopting this resolution, the City Council is, number one, confirming compliance with the court's order by ending the Paris transfer from solid waste rates. Number two, confirming that existing rates are appropriate and necessary to fund ongoing costs. And number three, directing future funding towards vehicle replacement and state-mandated clean fleet requirements rather than street repairs. With that, that concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on this.
Are there any questions from staff?
No, Mayor, just a comment really quickly. I think it's important for folks in the viewing audience to, I guess, take into consideration how at the state level, mandates are issued to municipalities like ours in response to their efforts to, I guess, address climate change. Many times those mandates are unfunded, and a lot of them that are unfunded typically hit our utility, our solid waste utility, in some way, shape, or form. I think another example of that would be the food waste, right? That came down. There was, again, no funding from the state, but we had to figure out how we were going to make that happen. So as I think it's appropriate, the recommendation that staff is making to make sure that we are able to address the mandate that has been handed down by the state. So.
Any other questions?
I just want to add to, just for the audience and dovetailing off of Councilmember Tejeda's comments. So the specific requirement from the state is 10% of all solid waste vehicles must comply by 2027, 25% by 2030, 50% by 2033, 75% by 2036, and so on and so forth. And those vehicles are approximately $1 million each today. So.
Thank you. Good to know. I have two speaker slips. First one is Dennis Bell.
This shouldn't be at the end of the agenda when people are no longer watching. The trash rate surcharge to fund Paris was based on outright lies that trash trucks had torn up the streets. It was really due to neglect by the city's failed leadership that prioritized cultural amenities over infrastructure and still does. Back then, the entire Go With the Flow Municipal Utilities Commission was complicit and derelict in its duties in supporting this charade. Some members of that commission are still on city commissions. The city got its comeuppance by the courts. Instead of rebating that illegal surcharge back to ratepayers, The courts are allowing the city to find excuses to keep collecting it and diverting it from one thing to another. If the city was forced by the courts to rebate the surcharge, the trash fund would be in the financial dumpster. According to these crystal ball 10-year forecasts and financial projections in the staff report, the trash fund is treading water. Those that far off in the future are worth the paper they're printed on. The days of the city pulling fast ones on its residents are over. The city doesn't think so. It's not paying attention to the courts, or it's looking at another come up and spy it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Mr. Stephen Rogers.
Honorable Mayor Saucedo, Redlands City Council, Steve Rogers, Church Street. I agree with everything that Mr. Bell said, and he speaks the truth. I urge the Redlands City Council to deny this extremely short-sighted attempt to sidestep the fact that Redlands trash utility ratepayers have been overcharged approximately $22.5 million over the last 12 years for illegal Paris surcharges placed on our utility bills. The city should be thankful that the court did not grant the people such reimbursements and reconsider this resolution. Least we have to take the city back to court where the city might not be so lucky the next time and be ordered to pay reimbursements to the trash utility ratepayers for all this money that was illegally taken. This solution is not a solution. It's actually fraud. And I say that because the charge was illegal in the first place, and this item has no mention of how Paris is funded by a bond issue being drawn down by the surcharge revenues. There's no mention of the debt service being paid for by these surcharges. I looked at the spreadsheet, and I've done some budgeting before, and it looks to me like maybe the ratepayers are having to pay for Paris and pay the debt service. And then here in this report that's done, they don't even talk about Paris being there being bonds involved here. I mean, I'm ready. That's why I'm saying this is fraud. And so I've been advised by some people that maybe the best place to go for this would be to the Securities and Exchange Commission, because basically the city has produced a fraudulent bond, and I know it was done in 2012, but apparently you're still supporting this because you're not actually eliminating this. You're just changing it and saying, oh, we're going to pay for something else with it. It's ludicrous. And basically, like I said, it's fraud. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Mayor and Council, the information he's looking for is contained in attachment 2. It's titled Interdepartmental Services and Transfers.
Thank you. I don't see any other public comments online. What's the wish of the council? I move to adopt resolution number 8727, confirming the solid waste rates and ceasing transfers of the solid waste revenues to the Paris program.
Second.
Motion is second. Madam City Clerk?
Councilmember Barrich.
No.
Councilmember Tejeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Shaw.
Yes.
And Mayor Saucedo.
Yes. All right. Thank you for that. We now move on to item M1, which is individual council member reports on activities for September 2025. That's already been, Mayor Pro Tem has already listed his. We'll start with Councilmember Barrett. Any activities or reports on anything you want to report on?
Yes, I was at the dinner in the Grove for benefit to family services, although because of the rain, it wasn't at the Grove. It was at Esri, so Mr. Dangerman, thank you very much for making your facilities available for this fundraiser, which Family Services is a great organization. I attended the Oktoberfest by the Optimist Club. I'm sorry, I have to mention that, otherwise I'll get fined since I am an Optimist member. So I've done my obligation for that. And I'm not going to mention who I missed, since I missed the last meeting for the Optimist Club, who spoke there. I'm sure the person who spoke there is going to say something. So anyway, very good. Thank you.
Councilmember Davis?
Yeah, I participated in the Believe Walk over the weekend. Amazing turnout. It was, just great to walk that 5K with so many enthusiastic people. Beyond that, last night I presented a certificate on behalf of the city at the UC Riverside 10-year anniversary celebration for the School of Public Policy.
Councilmember Tejeda?
Yes, Mayor, I was with you at the event for Assemblyman James Ramos on September 30th, celebrating the passage or the signing and passage of AB 53, the military tax exemption. I was at the U.S. Bangla Association annual celebration that they have for their community, representing the City of Redlands. They usually have the event here in Redlands. They actually had it in San Bernardino this year. I was at Movies at the Park on September 19th for a little bit, just to see what the attendance was like, and asked around and asked if how many of those events that we have a year. It looks like we're down to one per year, which is really good, but I hope in the future we can put it back to where it was at, rotating parks. And so just to have that into consideration. And on that Saturday, it was my mom's birthday, and I invited family to help celebrate that momentous and important occasion for our family. So.
Okay. Just a couple of things. I attended the SBCTA monthly meeting. I was also part of the Garner Holt Public Safety Awards last Thursday, I believe. Also participated in the chaplain luncheon at the Redlands Community Hospital. Was part of the Deshire Indian Festival out at Israelville Park. And I believe before that, the AK Smiley Library had their family days. Was able to read to some students in the reading room. So very rewarding for that. And that's about it. And then I'll just leave kind of a general thing for our community and our citizens. Please obey the law and be kind to everybody. And we stand.
Weren't you a speaker at some club the other day that I missed?
Yeah, I'm not a member, so I don't have to worry about getting fined. But no, we stand adjourned. Thank you.